Alright folks, hello and welcome to another AmuLIT League. We're trying out this beautiful 34 land filled with no-nonsense list. And DNT24 is coming back for the 18th month, year and a half. That's so amazing, DNT24, I appreciate it. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold, my friend. Keep up the good work. What version of Titan do you think is the strongest right now on Moto? Probably this one. This is the second league I'm playing today, and the first one was real smooth. Well, we're in friend waiting room expecting new episode of Titan Talk this week with the one and only Pond Wine, the irreplaceable me, the Canadian all-star House of Mana, and the Portuguese cryful degenerate José Muniz. I've been practicing to pronounce your name so hard, Jose. Sure. Getting paired against Banan Olaf. Somebody that frequently hangs out here on stream. How do we beat Greentron? Greentron. At least you'll be thinking for the follow. Greentron is a very good matchup. Very good. Greentron dumped on you? No, like you hit some bad variants because like Greentron is a very good matchup for us. Very good. Oh, it's that deck. Prime time. Never lucky. Well, we can do everything that we want here. Just wait all of my cards. I guess there was a slight misstep. No, there wasn't. Never mind. This is perfect. I don't think I'm gonna be packed in anything anyway, so because I think that holding the bounce line is just better value. It's really fucking scary though. CrabVine, yeah. OP's on that CrabVine life over there. G2 just dropped Great Creator on me both games and I couldn't do anything about it. You just use Dryad to Valakut their Great Creator and they lose. Usually the ways that I lose to Greentron is A, my deck not functioning, or my opponent has exactly turn 3 Karn. And I have also beat a turn 3 Karn multiple times. Many times I beat in turn 3 Karn. It is the best thing that Greentron can do. And you still get to beat it pretty frequently. So if we find the Titan, we win. I don't know what's going on today. It's just, it really feels a little bit too easy at this point. I just don't know what's going on here. You gave me the white list. We're just passing on the white list here. The white list is just getting passed around. They might have Ashiok, but I don't think I want to sideboard against that. I do want the bolts actually, because the bolts answer the crab. Just got Ghost Square actually. And answering crab is kind of important. So we can probably cut one more land if we need to. We need a castle. Yeah. I do need it back in like 3 hours. Okay, dude, but I'll make sure that you get it back. I'll make sure that you get it back. Don't worry about it. I got you. Turn 1, broken artifact, let's go. Basic island. Okay. We can beat the 1-1, I think. Alright, Quainock. True Titan joining the Primetime Stronghold with a tier 1 sub for the 7th month in a row. Hell yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Thank you so much, Quinok, for this description. Boom, let's go. Always enjoy joining the stream right as you're cyborging and trying to figure out what the matchup is. That's funny. That's funny. That's an interesting thought experiment there. How much is it because we have one of these whitelist thingies? Shh. We don't talk about that one. We don't talk about that. All right, Glimpse is very good there. Not really that much of a surprise to see Ashiok in the equation. They only milled one Vengevine of relevance. King Cantona 3, another True Titan with a tier 1 sub for 19 months, over 2.5 years now. Thank you so much, King Cantona. Appreciate it. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold, my friend. Thank you for the continued support. Sure. So this is going to force the crack. That's okay. This is usually, when I tried this deck in the past, this is how it looked to me. This is exactly how my draws lined up and everything. So let's do this and this. Well, it's pretty good. Good for me that they don't have a second creature. I'll take 3 here. Start here, see what's up. Oh, it just snap resolved. Yeah, so we're down here. So 1. All right, so my opponent didn't let me finish, but I was gonna like a Dryad plus Titan here. Of course, we were already just winning with the Titan, but having drawn Castle means that we get to do both. Yeah, CrabVine is such a variance deck, I guess. It definitely feels more explosive, but worse than Dredge. More explosive, but less what's the word? Consistent, I guess. Because like in Dredge, you are like milling so much. CrabVine is just like, well, I hope that this glimpse gives me something, and like, let's cross my fingers, and hopefully it's gonna be great. But it's just like you basically have no real choices there. Like it's just like, did you mill something good? Sweet, it's gonna be great. Did you not mill something good? Well, that sucks. Sorry for you. It's gonna suck. Sure. This is definitely on the... Oh, yes. This is definitely on the lower end of hands here. Knowing that we're playing against control, I might have mulliganed this hand, actually. But still, it's not the worst. It's definitely not very good, though. Now that we know that we're playing against control, the hand got a lot worse. So not very good draws. Yeah, I know, Olaf. I top net deck the top 8 list, and I think you just need white listed a bit, but my matchups were terrible. Titan and Nia so far. Yeah. I did see it. Like, it actually did pretty well over this weekend, which was kind of surprising. But yeah, that my experience with that deck has been specifically that you just need to get lucky, and you don't have too much agency over what goes on. Like, everything kind of just happens around you, and you don't really get that much of a choice, you know. So I have not liked the CrabVine deck when I tested it a long time ago, honestly. Do you want to tap out for something OP? Sequence is border, but this is not like the most complicated thing. No, it's kind of okay, right? It's a fun deck though. It's a fun deck. I had fun whenever I played it, but I felt like I was just a spectator, you know. Norky Tricky with the Prime sub. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold, Norky. First time subscriber, appreciate it. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold, my friend. I think I'm just gonna play an Explore here. No big deal if it gets countered. How do we like Nahiri's lithoforming? Is that the... Yeah, I think it's not very good. It actually looks kind of bad. I mean, it's not bad. It's just like something that AmuLIT is very likely not interested in at all. Sounds nice with Ramina AmuLIT. Yeah, like you're just... That's like saying, yes, so... I don't know. Like... Some 3-card combo is nice when you have all 3 cards put together, and it's just like, yeah, it does. Long-time viewer, now a true believer. Thanks for the time. Thank you so much, Narky. Appreciate it. I was the first league. We dominated. It wasn't even close, Elf Kid. Absolute domination. How well did we dodge either Gust in the first league? We played against one Gust deck, just like straight up blue-white control. And my opponent made some key mistakes that they could have won the game. And they were playing a weird version though. They were playing Yorion. They were playing kind of a weird version of the control deck. I think we played Riot here. We get got by Mana Leak, but... Oh, CS Holy Shield. Huh, so that just resolved. I guess we just do this. Now we're putting pressure on my opponent. So I guess they might need to snap path the Dryad. But then we have Titan to punish them. So we're kind of putting my opponent in a tough spot. Alright, so you're doing a path. Good stuff, good stuff. So I'm forcing my opponent to do something. Like, there's literally no reason for us to do anything here. Now we just play Asusa. We make more land drops. If my opponent doesn't kill me, like, they have to kill the Dryad before I even need to do anything about this. Also very good for us to know that my opponent is actually on. Very good for us to know that they are actually on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on SharkBlade or SharkBlade or whatever. Played Astral Rent today, didn't win a single game. Oh, Shona, feels bad. Feels bad. Don't tell me that I didn't tell you, though. Don't tell me that I didn't tell you. I guess I will keep the responses. You can cut an amulet against this deck. We can cut a couple of castles. Do I want bolts? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the podcast this week. Hopefully, House is going to save his audio, you know. But we can't really, you know, there's nothing that we can do about it. Like, there's nothing that can be done. We just have to hope. Gonna try Wednesday with Courts. Containment Priest felt super awkward. Yeah, I can see that. Like, it's something that I was testing, Shauna. I played one league, went 3-2, and they were kind of okay for me. But special guest? No, the guest is gonna be Punt then Wine. I'm kind of feeling the bolts, man. Let's go with this. Don't like what has happened to AmuLIT since these new additions to the deck. You know, Dryad, Field, Valakut doesn't feel the same trick deck anymore. What do you mean, Hisio? It has definitely been more straightforward. It feels more scripted. I think that's a good way to put it. Like, it feels like your decisions are like a little bit more scripted, and you don't have as much flexibility as we used to have back in the day. Shit. Mull to 4. Don't have high hopes for this hand. We'll see. I mean, if I'm gonna be keeping a 4-card hand, this one's pretty good. Don't make only play the deck to get on your podcast, you know. What more does he have to do? 12-0. I mean, we already had established that punt was going to be a guest in the podcast, and people had already been asking about having punt in the podcast for like a couple of weeks now, so it's okay. We're going to have them wake in the podcast eventually. Don't worry about that. As long as Jack doesn't oversleep again, we can have all sorts of guests. Yes. But having guests can be pretty tough in the oversleeping meta, you know? Having officially converted to a Titan gamer. Nice. Whoa, To Safi. With a Prime subscription. Welcome for the 3rd month in a row. Appreciate it, To Safi. Thank you for being a supporter of the stream. Appreciate it. Mr. Wave, what do you think about the new land in Titan? For the sec. Just curious, how would you guys recommend getting started on MTGO? That's a good question. I made a video where I talk about specifically that. Let me see if I can find it. I put in got Sword of Fist and Famine. Yeah, not very surprising. Damn it, can't find it. Everything. There we go, found it. All right. Boom. There. Mana Traders plug. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, Mana Traders does help as well. And I wasn't sponsored by Mana Traders when I made that video, so definitely Mana Traders is a great way to it's a great way to get started. If you are like me, like the way that I started is I didn't use any rental service in the beginning, but what I did is I just built AmuLIT. So I just bought all the cards for AmuLIT, and then I just played AmuLIT to the ground, basically. And then I built an entire collection solely off of AmuLIT. So if you are like me and you have like one deck that you really enjoy playing and that you want to be playing forever, basically, then that is definitely a great move. But again, it's only a good move if you are going to be playing the same deck. So I think we have to jam here because it's not getting better for us. No Titan Battle anymore. I'm trying AmuLIT now. It's really funny. Like I stream AmuLIT and people, I stream Titan Battle and people come to the chat and they say, "Wait, are you not playing AmuLIT anymore?" And then I stream Titan Battle. I stream AmuLIT and people come to the stream and they say, "Wait, are you not playing Titan Battle anymore?" It's just like I can never win. I can never ever win. It's insane. How the hell did that just resolve? And now that resolved, I think I'm supposed to go for it. I think I'm actually supposed to go for it. Because this resolves so they don't have Aether Gust. And if they have Path, that means that we don't get sworded. Oh, it's so greedy though. The issue is that if I don't attack, like my opponent then just vials seeing the sword end step and they equip Stoneforge and then they make me discard the bounce land, which is kind of what's tying up this hand, what is tying this hand together. So I think we actually have to YOLO here. We might get really punished by Path to Exile or something, but I think that it is correct for us to do this due to the current state of affairs. So we might get Path here. Very likely we're gonna get Path here. Oh, Dia187, I missed your subscription. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold with a tier 1 sub. 16 months now on a 16-month streak. That's so sick. Thank you so much for that. Well, my opponent apparently has nothing going on over there. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is what we're doing. They're gonna make me discard my Gruul Turf, but we're kind of in good shape. To drop Binance, why no Australian? God damn it. The struggles of being a one-trick content creator. But I have not been streaming only a single deck for, at this point, years. But yeah, anyway, whatever. I mean, it's fun. Like, I appreciate that people, like, know me for stuff. But it's just, like... It surprises me that they're surprised. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like, the first time that I streamed anything that was non-AmuLIT, it's just like people asking that, it's just like, it makes sense, right? Like, I've always been streaming AmuLIT or whatever, but I've been streaming like all sorts of other decks for, like, at this point, definitely months, maybe even a year at this point. So, like, me playing something that's not AmuLIT shouldn't come off at that much of a surprise, I think. It's whatever. Again, I appreciate people, like, being here and watching, right? You forget that I often ask about paper vial as well. That's true. That is true. Paper vial is another one. Paper vial, Esper vial. Good stuff. My opponent has perfect info, so... Yeah, I have no tricks here. They know what my hand is, and they know what I'm going to be discarding. No more Neobrand. Classic. Do you think AmuLIT is better positioned now that Aethergust has kind of decreased in popularity? Wait, I don't think Aethergust has decreased in popularity. Are they going to Wrath here? That's funny, okay. Just casually Wrath my own Stoneforge. Alright, so... 1, 2... 3, 4. Lands are solid. I mean, that's the worst land that we could possibly draw, but like, it's still not the worst, I guess. We get a zombie out of the deal. A zombie and 2 damage. It would have been nice to draw a good land instead of the absolute worst one, but it's okay. Colonnade in this day and age. This card has not aged nicely. I missed the boil play earlier. Can you explain what it does to your deck? Why is it so bad? Yeah, so what Adam is talking about is in the previous league, we actually played against a Ponza opponent, and we encountered this scenario. My opponent cast a boil into my board state of 0 islands. And then conceded the game because they had a dead card in their hand. People bring in Boil against AmuLIT because they are hoping that they get to cheese you out. Like, you have a Dryad of the Elysian Grove in play, and then when with a Dryad in play, they get to cast Boil and they destroy all of your lands. So, of course, it's a very, very cute play that, you know, it maybe might work sometime, but more often than not, it's not going to work. And you're gonna find situations like that. You're gonna lose the game with dead cards in your hand. So yeah, a lot of people insist on bringing that card in because it feels like it does something. Like, of course, you feel very smart when your opponent, when you get to like destroy all of your opponent's lands. But what people are very quick to forget is the fact that whatever it is that you cut for that was probably better than that. Like, even if it was a lightning bolt, like, you could clock me. And the funniest thing is that my opponent earlier, I did cast a Dryad and my opponent killed it. They brought Cindervines, another sideboard card, and they sacrificed the Cindervines to kill my Dryad. So my opponent even made their own card. They made their sideboard card bad by having another sideboard card, if that makes sense. It's really silly. Like, if you're going to go on the Boyle plan, then you need to want your opponent to have Dryad in play, right? Otherwise, you're just making your sideboard cards bad. It's just a silly thing. Like, I understand boarding in Boyle against AmuLIT if you have a bad matchup against the deck. So, for example, when decks like John bring in Boyle against AmuLIT, it's not as weird because like John overall has a trickier matchup. I don't want to say bad because John has a lot of tools, but they have a trickier matchup. But like the Gruul deck has such a good matchup against AmuLIT, so in my opinion, you're just making your deck just strictly worse by adding such a situational card. Yes, when it works, is going to feel very smart, but when we have situations like the one that happened in that game, it's just like you're exposing yourself to those situations for no reason at all, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. They were dead on board, they were being funny. Yeah, I know, I'm very well aware, but like they still have a dead card in hand, right? They still have a dead card in hand that could be a good card instead, right? That is the point that I'm trying to make. And it's insane how I'm drawing literally my absolute 2 worst cards in my entire deck. In my entire deck, I only have 2 cards that are insanely bad. And those are Azusa and Basic Forest. Those are literally the worst cards in my deck right now. And we somehow managed to draw both of them. So we can't actually set up lethal here, so I'm just going to go with everything at Jace. Like, I cannot let my opponent untap with Jace. People think just Boyle works against us now because of the Dryad, but you need Dryad on board, so you just tap 4 and discard the card. Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, the point is that the card could have been literally any other card in my opponent's sideboard, and it would have been better. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Okay, so field down. Kind of sucks, but it's not the worst. We do need to draw any business at all now. Like, we're actually in a situation where we do need... Oh, come on. And if they have Sharknado, they can block the Azusa for free. Oh my god. I guess we got God, chat. Settle the wreckage. Wow. Alright. So my opponent has Settle the Wreckage and Supreme Verdict in their Stoneblade deck. No, this is post-board. Do you think the card AmuLIT builds are worth playing? Yes, 100%. Karn is very good in AmuLIT. Alright, this is when we start losing now. Cylinder Colonnade, yeah, 100%. Like, my opponent has some questionable deck building choices. Makes me happy to react positively to what some should consider negative plays or plays that are bad for them, because that's what I really enjoy about Magic. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Always, I mean, what I try to do, Adam, always in this channel is I always try to educate. So like I have no problem in telling you like what the correct play is after the fact, obviously, right? But something that really is strange to me is, I think we're just gonna pass here actually. Something that is strange to me is when people just make plays because they can without really thinking about them. I know that we had lethal, we could have played Dryad and we could have hasted the Dryad and attacked, and then we could have played a land to trigger Valakut. Like I'm of course aware of that, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that into my opponent's cryptic mana. So yeah, so what I was saying is like, it's kind of insane the amount of times that I have had my opponents like shrink their Goyf. Like they played an Ashuk and they immediately minus and like exile targeting me. They get no value whatsoever, and they also like shrink their own Tarmogoyf or something like that. And it's just like, why are you doing this? Like if you stopped for a second and like you analyze the situation, okay, what's going on right here? What is this Ashiok doing? Why is this card good to begin with? And how can I, like, why is this bad? Like against Doomwake in the challenge the other day, like he was able to like play his opponent just like minus Ashiok into Oblivion, and then eventually just Doomwake just played I think an Azusa and just attacked the Ashiok and they won because of that. So much different real life one. Oh, I mean, I am a teacher after all, right? Like that's just who I am. I like people learning. I like helping people learn and get better and stuff. So I think my opponent has successfully turned the corner. I don't think there's anything else that we can do at this point. We're just gonna hope that somehow they don't have like a million good cards, but I don't think that's very likely. We did draw not particularly great. I mean, it wasn't really this last couple of draws actually were not that bad. It was the fact that we drew the basic into the Azusa. Like those were the turns where if we had drawn literally anything in our entire deck, we would have won this game. But because we drew the absolute two worst cards in the entire deck, we ended up just losing instead. I guess we do have a couple of lightning bolts in the deck, so I guess I'm going to play for that. So we're probably just gonna get blocked by a... Okay. Actually, because the Cyber Guide would be better if it had no abilities, then it would be misplay proof. That's really funny. No, but sometimes it's correct to minus Ashiok, right? And sometimes it's correct to minus Ashiok targeting yourselves. You're still exiling your opponent's graveyard. But like what I am against and what I always I always try to tell people is like think about the consequences of your actions. Like don't don't just activate Ashiok because you can, right? Why are you activating Ashiok? Think about the consequences and like the reasons why you are choosing to do stuff, right? And I do think that a lot of people just don't do that. they just do things because they can, and they don't really stop for a second and think, okay, so if I do this, then my glyphs become smaller, then like this other thing happens that's bad for me, and what am I really gaining? Well, actually I'm not gaining anything at all. I'm just making my Ashiok easier to kill, etc, etc, etc. Gusto? No Gusto. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here, actually, I think is I'm gonna do Field plus Radium Fountain. And I think I'm gonna haste one of the zombies. Like if my opponent has Snapcaster, so this is only worse if my opponent has specifically Shark Typhoon. Sure. This is a copy of their mainland. Yeah, I can't activate it, so I don't have any white sources, so it's not very productive to copy their mainland, I don't think. So now the fairy is gonna get to do its thing. I think that my opponent's gonna time out, though. Like, they still have to kill me, and the fairy is a lot of clicks, so I think that they're just gonna time out. They've been playing very slow, by the way. Finally, we have a solid top deck. One, two, three, four, five, six. So my opponent just said not have either gust. Is the choice not ghost good? I am very, very surprised. I did not think that we were gonna win this game. I guess their hand was just nothing? Opponent doesn't play his cards, putting in 2020 out of principle, yeah. Told you the guys decreased in popularity? I guess? Maybe they just conceded because they needed to, like, they could have actually won, but they knew that they were not winning in time. I beat one more control player to death of my copy colony. Yeah, same here. Same here. I think I actually did that in day 2 of a GP, which was funny. Do we run garrison? No, there's no garrison here. Just the battlements. Just look up opponent's username. Brata Bruta. It explains a lot of things. Yeah, I don't like being mistaken, so don't approve of that comment. We saw their colony the other day and it won me the game. Yeah, I mean, it's something that does come up, but you need to have like we don't have any white sources, right? Like there's literally no white sources in the deck, so you can only activate that if the Valakut is, if the Dryad is alive, so. Have you ever activated your copy range in a general matchup? Yes, I have. Turn to Titan. Sounds good to me. I don't think there's... Well, maybe there is, but like I really doubt that there's anything that I have not done with AmuLIT. Whooper Pants, thank you for follow. I really doubt that there's anything I have not done with AmuLIT that can be done. I think the only thing I have never done was the turn 1 kill. I don't remember ever doing the turn 1 kill. Sweet. Make more of the favorite line to copy, yeah. Yeah, my opponent's doing some cute stuff. Look at your opponent doing some cute stuff over there. So I think that if we... So we play land, we activate, this is just better, right? Let's put small lands into play. Valakut. Battlements. Yes. Field Teleria. Yeah, I guess their graveyard is pretty much irrelevant, so we don't even need to bog here. Just making sure that we play around. They can flag right off the top. Like they can get back the rocks if they want to. My opponent says this Stone Cold Nutter. Almost. Have I tried playing Emeria? This guy ruining AmuLIT? Alright, anything that's good I have probably done. Opponent doesn't want to play anymore. The reason to bring in this card is because of Leyline of Sanctity. I'm not sure that Dredge is playing Leyline of Sanctity anymore, really, though. So I'm just gonna bring in the Sage, but not the Force. 7 power on turn 2, meet Primeval Titan on turn 2. Yeah, I know, right? Gone to end as Savine on the draw. I'm playing a bounce land, discarding Hornet Queen versus Savine. Yeah, that was actually a pretty common play pattern. I wrote about it in my OG sideboard guide. Oh man, remember when I wrote those like 40 pages sideboard guides? Man, I wish I could do that again. What do you think about the new flip land for AmuLIT? It's gonna be pretty good. I'm gonna be playing probably 2 or 3 copies at least. This is good stuff. Yeah, we keep this hand. I think we turn 1 the relic. Yeah, we turn 1 the relic, I think. No, the regrowth is not good. The mythic one is the good one. Yeah, that's the one. Joining on top land would be pretty nice. We don't. It's okay. That's what they're going to be exiled in anyway, right? So I might as well just get some F6 value here. They don't activate on end step? It's weird. I wonder why. I mean, they have a really good opener. Oof. That's pretty good. So I expect this to get blown out, so I'm just going to play my bounce land here, get my mana boost. And we're just going to play Stacy and play Relic. Opponent says lol. Lol indeed. What am I dropping for the flip card? Tularia West? That sounds wrong. I'm definitely not dropping Tularia West. I don't think we can ever go below 2 Tularia Wests in AmuLIT. I just don't think that's a doable thing, really. Assuming that you want to play the best AmuLIT build possible, obviously. Okay, so we're gonna get something grudged. We're gonna see what that is. My bet is on the Relic, but maybe we get surprised by an AmuLIT blow up here. Relic, yeah. Makes sense. This also means that my opponent gets Titan next turn, so that's cool. And we even get to do so if they blow up my AmuLIT as well. Sure. Millennium Thug is good for them. Keeps their engine running. But they cannot get back all 3 of those amalgams just yet. New 1 red land destruction spell means we can never play Sloth again, but that's no big loss. Yeah, I don't really care about Sloth too much. Ivan with the tier 1 sub. 15 meses, papá, 15 meses ya. Qué lindo, qué lindo. Gracias por eso. Gracias por la bancada. Right, so opponent's hand is Mountain and Unknown. Ooh, los queches, yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Ivan is my good friend who's currently working on the brand new emotes that we're gonna have in the channel. So super stoked about it. So I'm just doing this because I want to have a bounce land in hand after I'm done doing this. Gives me more flexibility in my subsequent turns and in my things to fetch here. So we're definitely getting Bujuga Bog. Let's get field, whatever. We have a pack to pay for, but well, I guess I left myself loose into Damping Sphere, so I shouldn't have done that. I should have played around that. It was basically free, so like we're so far ahead at that point. This deck is better than Titan. Shut up, Leviathan. Shut up. Slot like a burger, so yes. Then what? I only said Tularia West because it serves a similar purpose in getting creatures, but getting lands and explosives is too good to miss. I mean, no, it doesn't serve the same purpose. Like, Tularia West allows you to chain Titans, this card doesn't. Like, the whole reason why AmuLIT is a good deck is because you get to chain Titans. Like, one Titan goes and calls the next one. So, yeah, like, Tularia West is just not cuttable. I don't think you can ever go below 2 Tularia Wests, honestly. Why haven't we played Battlements instead of the other Hasteland earlier? Because it's a worst land when you don't draw your Dryad. It's just it's a worse land as far as how much value you get from Titan. Titan Vial is getting a lot of popularity. Yeah, I mean, mostly people are playing not my list, but the list that plays no vials. So it's like the spiritual successor of Titan Vial, basically. That's what people have been playing a lot with, which is cool. Sandiga has some new spicy stuff. Yeah, there's only one card that I'm legit interested in. Everything else I don't care so much for. Liz with balls in Twitter, yeah, I know. It's been pretty spicy. It's been working out really nicely. Honestly, I could see my opponent just taking Explore here. Alright, so they take the Dryad. So that probably means that they have a Stubborn Denial. My opponent's saying like hello and like good luck, and they are telling me that they watched the stream, so that's cool. They tell me that they watched the stream, but they hate Titan. And like, yeah, sorry. But yeah, with a name like Bruno Mineiro, I have to assume that my opponent's Portuguese or like at least Brazilian. And I guess that I was right because I talked to them in in Portuguese, and they seem to understand. I mean, TikTok, opponent, TikTok. If you don't have pressure. Yeah, you're really wrong, Joseph. You can't get it off a Titan trigger. No tem como não ser brasileiro. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like I was pretty confident when I talked to them in Portuguese. All right, this is a problem. Well, well, womp womp. Just gonna die with all of these Titans in your hand. We're not playing EE in the main deck. Alright, so that's actually lethal now. I guess it's not actually lethal, but like I cannot stabilize. Like resolving a Titan doesn't stabilize against all of these shadows. Alright, so we want those. We probably want these as well. Cut that one. Shave a couple of these and cut Ghost Squatter. Then I'm gonna go with this. I don't think I want trackers in this matchup. Not with this setup. Maybe I should be playing trackers though. Yeah, I guess they have Ashiok, never mind. Yeah, I regret everything. Give me trackers. Oh man, what I'm supposed to cut. Stomping around. We can maybe cut some respect actually. Not a fan of Relic here. I'm not a. I actually think that Relic is pretty good against Grixis specifically. I do like Relic against Shadow specifically. Against Grixis Shadow specifically. I guess against all the Shadow decks, Relic is good, I guess. Like against John slash Traverse Shadow, it's also pretty solid. Yeah, because of Gurmag and Snap. Yep, exactly because of Gurmag and Snap. Yeah. Bye bye Dryad. Hardly ever knew ya. Is Spanish and Portuguese similar enough so you can understand each other? Kind of, but not really. That's probably the accurate way of saying it is kind of, but not really. Like it's really tough to fake, and the vocabulary it's very much not the same. Some words are close enough. Some words are kind of like relatable, but overall, like unless you know a little bit about the language, then it's not particularly easy, I don't think. Cavern of Giant, Dryad. Let's go with Feel. Like, we don't have a Titan, and if they kill our Dryad, then we still don't get to cast a Titan off the top, so I think it's probably okay for me to go with this. It's better against Damping Sphere. If my opponent were to have Damping Sphere, though, if they cast Damping Sphere on this board state, I am probably ecstatic about it. Brutal. Not usually handed, do nothing against turn 3. Against this kind of matchup, what you want is you want to make sure that you're hitting your line drops, and then you take it from there. Like you're fine. If your hand doesn't do anything until turn 3, you're still okay in this matchup specifically, because your hand is gonna get shredded to pieces, and your opponent is going to be able to like kill your stuff. So basically, the hands that I just want to develop my mana quickly. That's the only thing that I really care about. And anything that is not, so a hand like this, like it's gonna get shredded. But like I have a bunch of land drops, so I'm not gonna be missing land drops. I have some of my value lands, particularly Field is very good in this matchup. Tracker remains the best landfall card ever printed. Yeah, probably yes. But yeah, like what I kept is not a keep on the abstract. It's a keep against this deck specifically. Now the question is, if my opponent plays a land, which they do, they shocked. Okay, because they shocked, I think I'm not gonna crack this clue on end step. Because if they have access to K command, so now we get to do this. I'm playing around like them having like an answer or whatever. And now we can actually serve for lethal. Well, we played around K command very nicely, and we can attack for lethal with this tracker. Very interesting. Very interesting. Like, they could have dismembered the tracker. And I'm playing this into a stop because if my opponent counters it, like it's whatever, and they don't get to draw a card if they stop this. Push my tracker, sure. Oh, they just couldn't trigger. Revolt. That's hilarious. Can you believe that for a second there I was not gonna be bringing in a tracker in this matchup? Like, what's wrong with me? All right. Unfortunately, we just can only jam one at a time. I guess that we can. Let's draw a card first. So let's start the turn by drawing a card. Because if we find a land, then we can pact for Dryad. Oh, it's not lethal, never mind. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna force my opponent to gust here. Gust or bust. They do have it. Sounds good. Put it on top. Play this. Make it 2/2. Let's go. Is Tracker the only landfall card that he's playing Eternal formats? I think so. Yeah, I think it's the only one. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think so. No, I think it's just Tracker. Well, how many gusts do you got, opponent? Because we're going to Gust Town. Gust or bust, baby. Valakut is kind of landfall. Oh yeah, that's right, Crab. Snapcaster Mage. Should I pack for Dryad here? I think I'm gonna pack for Dryad here. Yeah. Let's pack for Dryad in response. Put the prime time on top. The attack. Make sure that my opponent can trigger Revolt. Play Dryad. I guess we lose to removal plus Damping Sphere. Seems unlikely though. Thoughtseize. Oh, I should have backed in response. Missed opportunity there. I should have backed in response to the Thoughtseize. Punt. Punt. Let's go again. I guess we're actually counting down 1 too quick. My opponent says that they are currently 4-0. I'm telling them like I'm actually 8-0 currently. So if they beat me, they would be my first loss of the day. Like pressure on me. Don't feel the pressure, opponent. Don't feel the pressure. Denial their own Thoughtseize. Brutal. Next level plays. I'm not gonna lie, response has been pretty bad so far. My answer to the Evergast decks has been, in the first match that I play against them, for them to make a mistake, to make a punt, and then the second game that I played against the Gust deck, it was for them to not draw the Gusts. Those have been so far my answers to Ghost. ¿Por qué ahora llevando solo 2 tolerias y sin Zero Vision Sandman se sigue manteniendo el 4 de Simic of Chambers en vez de ganar un hueco para una tierra un poco más útil? Porque las bounces las querés igual, Cachopu. De cualquier manera querés jugar por lo menos 8 bounce lands. Y las bounce lands, el hecho de que estés cortando tolerewes no quiere decir que no las necesites igual. O sea, necesitas el acceso a las tolerewes y necesitas transmutar porque ese es tu engine, ¿no? Entonces, Simic sigue siendo la mejor tierra. En ese spot. The question is why with only 2 Tolerias and no Serum Visions have mine, etc. We are still keeping 4 Simic Growth Chamber, and my explanation is that this card is still very, very good in this deck specifically. This might look like a weird kit, but it's exactly the same thing that I said. Like, this hand is only bad against my opponent having a turn 1, a very early shadow hand. So they need to have like a turn 2 or 3 shadow in order to beat this relic. Because Angler's not gonna cut it. And then we also have Bojuki Bog to delay the Angler as well. So I think this is actually a pretty solid keep. And if they stop here, it's kind of okay. Well, I guess I wanted to activate before their turn. It's still fine because they're like we can still activate before they do anything, but definitely activating here so we cannot get anglered. If they have another scour, we're gonna get anglered, but they're short 1 card. I guess they can still like cycle a Street Wraith or something to play an early angler. Alright, so if they have angler, they can play it anyway. Never mind. Alright, got super punished for my keep. Super punished for my keep because my opponent had the turn to angler through relic hand. Again, they needed to have double Thought Scour. It was the only way that we got punished, but that's exactly what my opponent had, so we kinda got demolished here. Okay, so now we have to reassess. I think I'm gonna cycle the relic on their end step. Hyman is kind of dope versus Gust. No, it actually doesn't. Which is the saddest thing, though. Like, Gust literally answers every single card that we can play. All of them. No exceptions. All of them get answered by Gust. There's nothing that we can play that beats Sather Gust. I guess, like, Thoughtseize or something. I told my opponent got him. All right. That's a sick top deck. If the Dryad gets skilled, we're going to fetch for Breeding Pool. Hardcast Dismember. Down to 1 card. And this is the plan. We make an uncounterable Titan next turn. We hope it's good. We lose to Stubborn Denial, Aether Gust. We lose to Inquisition, Thoughtseize. All 4 Scours gone. That's hilarious. So I think that I'm going to Pact on my own upkeep. Don't have the TBR, don't have the TBR, don't have the TBR. No! No! I think we'll let this resolve. We could Pact for Stacy, but I think that we let this resolve. Titan? Alright. GG's. Drown wouldn't have done it, by the way, because of course we were gonna play an Uncounterable Titan. Brutal. Feels bad. Alright, we only are gonna go 8-1 for now. Womp womp. You could play Quagnoth. The problem with Quagnoth is that it doesn't line up well against Udo. It doesn't line up well against Gormagangler, as we just saw. Doesn't line up well against Modern as a format. Sabran out? Oh no, Jack. So sad. Alright, let's see if we can get a 4-1 here. Mono UTB tap lands. Do we keep this? I kind of want to... No, there's no way I keep this. This hand sucks. This is better. Bottom. Some respect. We're obviously looking for a bounce land here. Listening against Shadow with Titan. I think that Shadow decks are a bad matchup for AmuLIT, Elfkid. They always have been. Put almost to 5. They play Dredge. Alright, good to know. I mean, they mull to 5 and we're probably going to see that right here. So it's not like my sideboarding would have changed or anything. I never felt that it was a bad matchup, to be honest. I think that it's not by any means any of your good matchups. So turn 4 Titan with Dryad should be good enough under most situations against Dredge, unless they have a not so turn 2. Okay. Another Haggle. Wow, my opponent with all the fancy versions of the cards. I respect that. That's nice. Trying to see if there's any way that I can transmute this turn, but I don't think there is. Land number 1, land number 2. Yep, this is kind of what it is. That's okay. I think that we're still in really good shape here. My opponent's probably not gonna be able to get back the Ox. I think I'm taking 7 here. Actually, no. I'm gonna take this block. They are splashing. They might not be splashing black here, and even if they are, I doubt that they're gonna have a main deck Dark Blast. Am I getting grossly punished here? No. All right, yeah. So this is gonna be game. 2, 3, 4. Our opponent once ghosted Rosemary, and I was literally talking to his dad. Yeah, I mean, it's a league though, so if my opponent wants to ghost, it's kind of whatever. Like, I don't really care. It's not like they can do anything, right? But I think that just having the hand hider kind of defeats the purpose of streaming, in my opinion. So I don't really love using the hand hider. So when somebody ghosts, I just kind of suck it up. Because this is buy, opponent might have to go to it. I don't think the Dredge is a buy anymore. I think that Bog became a lot worse against Dredge since they started playing the Ghoul. Like when they were playing Bloodghast, I thought that just Bog was kind of unbeatable for them. But I just don't think that's the case anymore, really. Guess we're keeping this one. I still think it's a fine matchup. Like, I'm not saying that it's not a good matchup, but I'm saying that it's not the buy that it used to be, basically. Also, Ox really allow them to kind of keep up with what we're doing, in a sense. And having leaks is sleeper, Pepper Love. I mean, I just think that, like, the whole point of streaming is so that you can see my hand and that you can, like, see for yourself why the explanations of why I'm doing things actually make sense. If I am gonna be streaming and then I'm gonna be saying, like, yeah, so we could do, I could play this card or this card, and you have no idea what I'm talking about, then, like, why am I even streaming? If I wanted to, let me put it like this, if I wanted to win games of Magic over, like, creating the content, then I would not be streaming, right? If my main goal were to win games of Magic, then streaming actively hurts my chances of doing so. So there wouldn't be much point in it. So they dredge Loam. I don't think they dredged the first time. They're gonna get to cast Ox here. So we kind of need to draw exactly Bounce Land. I don't think that anything else really matters. I have chat to help me. Yeah, exactly. What would I do without chat, right? So I think this turn is going to be pretty straightforward. We either find a bounce land and then we're going to win this game very easily, or we don't and then we're going to continue playing this game. Dredge the Bed, thank you for the follow. All right, so we win. Awesome. I don't even know what my opponent dredged. It is kind of whatever though, so. Valakut, battlements, 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. Haste down. Pact for Triad. Cast Triad. Go to combat, attack. Valakut, Visuba. Imagine how many minutes ahead of opponent you would be if you didn't have chat slowing me down. Probably many. Probably very many. Alright, sweet. 4 and 1. 5-0 to 4 and 1 feels pretty solid. I have to say that like I did luck suck a bunch today, okay? Let's not forget about that. Again, like my strategy for beating Gust decks was for my opponent to not draw their Aether Gust and for my opponents to make mistakes when they did. And so, Lit Farmer 02, thank you for the follow. So don't go out and say like, oh yeah, like AmuLIT is great now because like Gust is bad against it. Like that's just not true. Like I am always assuming that my opponent is gonna make the best possible plays, right? And that's kind of what happened. No, I have to go teach a lesson, so I can't play the prelim, which really sucks, honestly. I wish I could play more prelims, but they're always in the worst possible times. Like they are often like 3 a.m. for me, or or like right before I have to go teach a lesson. Like this time, like the time for this prelim would actually work out well for me if it were on literally any day that is not a Monday. If we had the prelims on literally any day of the week that is not exactly Monday, this prelim time would work great for me, but they are always on Monday, which is the most frustrating thing ever. Super annoying. AmuLIT is great now, as it always has been. Okay, so let me say things like straight up. AmuLIT will never not be great. But like, it still cannot be Aether Gust, right? Like that's just a fact. So like if you want to start discussing or like yeah it's great or it wasn't great, it's just like whatever. Like it doesn't matter whether it's good or not. Like the deck is always great and it's awesome and it's a lot of fun and I always enjoy it. I always have a good time. The deck still does scoop to a good Aether Gust player. That's just a fact. Love the YouTube talent. I've been a fan for a while. Finally able to catch you live. Hey, did I miss most of? Oh, don't worry about Let Farmer. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. This list felt super good though. Is there anything that would want to change? Am I playing Esmeralda this week? I don't know what the rest of the week is going to be looking like, but where's the screenshot I have with the Titan ATB trigger and 3 Gusts in opponent's graveyard? Who are you playing against, and like how did they work? This card is just bad. Like I think it's cute. Like it's a cool idea. I think it's just awful, and we're just wasting sideboard slots by having this card in there. Like we have so many ways that this just backfires that I think that it's probably correct for us to just cut this card altogether and just I'd add maybe like a 4th tracker so we can really lean on the tracker plan against the control decks, and that's the way that we have to beat Ashiok and Aether Gust maybe. And maybe what else can we do? What else would I play if I had the chance? Probably like a Tech Edge in the sideboard. I've been super high on Tech Edge in the sideboard lately, honestly. All the time. Like Tech Edge is such a sweet card in my opinion. In the sideboard of AmuLIT. Like in the matchups where you want it, it's just so good. And I'm always a fan of playing sideboarded lands. as long as they do good stuff. Karn is great against Gust. Yes, Karn often gets tagged by Force of Negation, but yeah, Karn is good. The problem that Karn has against against the good control players is that it gets like it gets a lot of value, but it also gets like outvalued by the control player. So it's not like you can just like play Karn and that's gonna be game over. Like you need to play Karn and you need to keep doing other stuff. Why don't I see any copy of Veil of Summer against any recent AmuLIT lists? Because Veil doesn't answer any of the problems that that AmuLIT struggles with, right? Like Veil is an extremely powerful card, but the way that I see it, it's kind of like bringing, it's just like bringing the best knife ever to answer, you know, to a gunfight or something like that. It's just like, it's not the right tool for the job. It's really powerful, but that doesn't mean that it's good for us. Field is infinitely better, but that plant token did work for me back in the day. Oh yeah, Kali was great. Which title list should we look to build on going forward? Little cheeky, like what we're, when you say going forward, I can only tell you like this week. Like that's because that's the only thing that I can really know about, you know. Because like 2 weeks from now the metagame might be completely different, particularly because like a new set is released and I don't know what's gonna happen. Have I considered Fry for Ashok? Yes, Fry is a very good option. It also kills Teferi. The problem with Fry is that it still gets gusted and it's not that good. Basically, like it's just a little bit too narrow. The good thing about a card like Celestial Purge, which I always say it's the best cyber card for AmuLIT, the thing is that Celestial Purge answers every single card that you really care about, right? It's super flexible, but that flexibility is that it's the opposite of Veil. Like Purge, it's a narrow, it's a cyber card, but Purge answers exactly the problems that AmuLIT has. It answers Liliana, it answers Ashiok, it answers Blood Moon. All of the cards that are problematic for AmuLIT, all of those get very, very cleanly answered by Celestial Purge. So Purge is the complete opposite of Veil of Summer in terms of how good it is in AmuLIT specifically. Of course, overall, Veil is a better cyber card than Purge. That's just like a fact. Like Veil is kind of busted, but again, it's about having the right tools for the right job. Have I played Reclaimer AmuLIT lately? No, not really, actually. I could go back to some Reclaimer AmuLIT at some point. I haven't really messed with this list in a really long time, actually. Like, it's super outdated. It's super, super outdated. But yeah, we see here how I am living the Purge life in this list. Hell yeah, I am. Yeah, maybe I will play some Reclaimer AmuLIT at some point. This thing is just so sweet. I mean, it's just this card, right? Like I really, really love this card. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed the stream. Again, if I had to make any changes, I would probably just cut the Gudura responses and just like add a 4th copy of Tracker. And I don't know what the last card would be, but like I just think that it's just a bad card, right? It's just a bad card. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the content. We did pretty well today, so I'm pretty excited definitely about going 9-1 on the stream. But yeah, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I will see you in the next video. Have an amazing rest of your day and take care. Bye bye.